The Tvwan News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello and welcome to another edition of TV1 News. I'm Rex Litter. In this edition, ICAC executes first arrest. Medang tuberculosis rate alarming. And PNG golfers get financial backing. The Independent Commission Against Corruption executed its first session warrant for 2025 to an individual attached to the New Ireland provincial government yesterday in New Ireland province. The ICAC Deputy Commissioner of Operations Daniel Bowles announced this during a press conference today in Port Moresby.
With the assistance of the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary, the individual whose name was withheld was arrested and charged with official corruption. According to Deputy Commissioner Operations Daniel Bowles, the arrest marks a significant milestone and continued efforts to combat corruption in Papua New Guinea. The operation is part of an ongoing investigation into alleged corrupt conduct involving public officials in the New Ireland Provincial Administration.
The Independent Commission Against Corruption executed its first search warrant of 2025. This occurred in New Ireland Province at Kavieng. With the assistance of the RPNGC, the ICAC arrested one individual and has charged this individual with the offence of official corruption.
Since this is a first arrest for this year, Bowles said the organisation is faced with lack of investigators, no proper office space and limited funding to expand operations. Therefore, the organisation encourages anyone with information on suspected corruption to report it to ICAC.
At the moment around finding a suitable office, as well as finding suitable people that we can then recruit and then having the budget to do so. I think we know that budget and government budget and funding in PNG can be quite challenging, but we're no different to any other agency. So we do our best to make our case for that support, and we welcome any more support that government and donor partners can provide to us.
The Deputy Commissioner added that the matter is ongoing and that the ICAC could not provide any further information at this point. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
ICAC Deputy Commissioner Operations Daniel Bowles is warning government departments to understand the roles and responsibilities of ICAC and adhere to their directives if asked to submit a report requested by the organisation. Bowles issued this warning due to the lack of support and ignorance they usually receive when asking government departments to assist with information. The Deputy Commissioner said a warrant of arrest would be issued if government departments are not responsive.
Require is financial documentation. So what we often do is we use our other powers for search warrants, other powers for notices, for compulsory notices, and we'll often request information from things like banks, other government departments and things of that nature. At the moment, not all government departments are responding as promptly as we'd hope. There are some departments who are refusing notices that we issue. What I would caution them is to understand what the ICAC's powers actually are, and if you don't give us the information, it's a crime.
Phase 4 of the government's assistance to businesses affected by the riots of January 10, 2024, popularly known as Black Wednesday, was announced today. 25 million kina in financial support was presented to the business by Chief Secretary to the government, Ivan Pumaleu.
25 million kina has been distributed between 4 businesses affected by the January 10 riots of 2024. These businesses are Bismillah Holdings Limited, Pipen Holdings Limited, Papindo Trading Limited, and Dash Besh Enterprises Limited. Presenting the checks today was Chief Secretary to Government Ivan Pomaliu. He underscored the importance of the assistance provided to the businesses affected by the riots, emphasizing that many lost in financial value, much more than what the government is giving in support.
But again, appreciation to those business houses, some of whom have actually gone out of their way to restart businesses and to continue to operate in those locations. Because people need food, people need to be supported in their respective locations. And I think that goes without saying, our need to support them.
The Chief Secretary informed that a total of 15 businesses will be supported under the government's financial assistance program. The first 4 have today received their checks, with 11 more businesses yet to receive support.
And in making those presentations, we want to give assurance to those that are still waiting under phase 3 assistance that we're working very closely with the Department of Finance to make sure that all legitimate claims are cleared and paid.
Meantime, the 4 businesses today expressed gratitude to the government for fulfilling their commitment to support these businesses in rebuilding.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Rio Rafford, and thank you, the team that who did lots of work for us, and we much appreciate.
Cannot tell so much things, just only thank you for everyone. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chief, to support Papindo Trading. Until now, we still continue supporting Yerio people. We know the Black Wednesday, what happened. But at least, Chief and the government help us very well. Thank you very much, sir.
Rest assured, we shall rebuild our business houses with this compensation package, and we will try to create more job opportunity for unemployed PNG people.
The assistance under the national government's assistance program to these 15 businesses is facilitated under a 5-phase initiative. Chief Secretary Pomaliu says the funding is allocated under funds earmarked for 2024. Thus, in 2025, the national government is tending to priorities essential to the running of the nation. However, in due time, the funds will be cleared and the 11 other businesses will receive their support. Maricela Kelleton, TV1 News.
One of the founding fathers of Papua New Guinea, Seyano Bello, has called on young leaders to uphold the fundamental principles enshrined in the Constitution as the nation approaches its 50th anniversary. Seyano, in an exclusive interview with this newsroom, emphasized the vital role that the Constitution plays in guiding the country's development, governance, and social harmony.
Seyano Bello has urged the next generation of leaders to take inspiration from the constitutional values of unity, respect, and justice, and to champion these principles in their leadership endeavors. Seyano expressed concern about the challenges facing the nation, including social inequality and governance issues, and encouraged young leaders to actively engage in addressing these matters through a constitutionally grounded approach.
Safety belongs to the country, my son of straw. One people want country now, one people line. I mean, this is a man of place that we son of straw, and we talk. One people, one country, one nation.
By invoking the importance of the Constitution, Seyano Bello aims to inspire a renewed commitment among young leaders to foster democratic principles, uphold the rule of law, and work toward a thriving, inclusive society that respects the rights and duties of all citizens. He believes that with strong leadership rooted in constitutional values, Papua New Guinea can navigate the complexities of the future while honoring the aspirations of its founders.
I got strong belief now. I'm a Muslim. Give him country below me, bro. Now I go on below you, below them, Blana. Milling me below much. Look at him good, not on him country below me, bro. Look at him riches below me, bro. Now you got a whale, you got a case, you got coffee, you got planted something on this Karam, caught to keep him, you planted through. Some of this, you must look at him good. Now even on a bag of him.
Moreover, Seyano called for community engagement in economic decision-making processes, advocating for transparency and accountability in how wealth is managed and distributed. By fostering an inclusive economic environment, he believes Papua New Guinea can build a more just society where every individual has the chance to thrive.
Brother, mi brother, fight on the watchman. All that I go finish. Now, me one place stop yet. Now, me talk. Thank you, long. Me brother. There's 50 years celebration, but you make a morat or a morat. Now, you come one people, one country, and you come morat. Digli round table, tabulum bone, believe make him na. And tell him, we got Ilya, so all the people of my country, now or something, and make them up good.
His call for equal sharing of wealth is not just a matter of economic fairness, it is also a plea for social justice and national unity, highlighting the need that a prosperous nation can only be achieved when all its people have a stake in its success. Maricela Kellerton, TV1 News.
The Green Finance Center, under the auspices of the Central Bank of Papua New Guinea, is hosting its inaugural Green Finance Summit to unlock green finance opportunities, foster green investment, and support inclusive growth across key national priorities such as agriculture, sustainable land use and marine resources, renewable energy, women-led enterprises, and small and medium-sized businesses. The summit brings together senior government along with leaders from the financial sector, development partners, and private sector stakeholders in the country, the Pacific region, and international donor partners.
The Green Finance Summit 2025 serves as a timely platform for Papua New Guinea to engage with regional and global stakeholders to explore innovative financial instruments and exchange best practices. Central banks from across the South Pacific and Asia will also join to learn and share more about Papua New Guinea's progress and explore best practices that can be implemented and adopted locally. The summit facilitated discussions on sustainable development and highlighted perspectives on international partners who shared their perspectives and priorities on sustainable development.
Green growth is especially relevant to PNG. I learned about the important goals set by the government, doubling the size of the economy, creating 1 million jobs, improving the quality of life for all PNG citizens. Their ambition, yet they're just there. PNG has great potential, is blessed with an abundance of natural resources. You have a clear vision ahead on how to preserve your natural and cultural heritage, and there is a promising sector, let alone now a revamping in the extractive sector. But there are challenges ahead.
We want to make sure that as we work in a country that we do this in a way that's demand-driven, and that we are providing customized solution to the government's development agenda, right, to basically meet their needs and challenges.
The discussions on sustainable development further underscored opportunities for collaboration in advancing inclusive green growth and climate-resilient development in the country.
Integrating climate change is crucial. All countries have to do it.
Our work on with SEPA about natural capital accounting, it showed the huge potential, but to realize the potential, we actually need to develop natural capital accounting on the ground and actually demonstrate concretely in ways which will gain the trust of financial institutions the value of nature-based assets.
But when talking about green growth more generally, I think it's important, as other panellists have mentioned, that this is embedded as an idea and as a principle throughout wider economic development strategies. And I think several panellists today have spoken about the real benefits that could come from doing that across Papua New Guinea.
Through this summit, the GFC aims to share its progress with the stakeholders, facilitate a meaningful dialogue between locals and international experts, and lay the groundwork for the implementation of practical and impactful sustainable finance initiatives in Papua New Guinea and the Pacific. The 3-day summit ends this evening. Maricela Kelleton, TV1 News.
The private sector has a crucial role to play in driving green growth. With increasing global and domestic focus on sustainability and reducing environmental impact, businesses are looking for innovative ways to integrate green practices into their operations. On the second day of the inaugural Green Finance Summit, the private sector highlighted how they can integrate green practices into their operations.
Many businesses are turning to carbon offset programs and carbon footprint management solutions. One such company is Steamships Trading Limited. Addressing its significant carbon footprint, Steamships is promoting sustainability development efforts and has acquired a certification in excellence in design for greater efficiencies.
It's a massive footprint when you think of our operations. Retrofitting and designs of our building, we were able to, one, energy use, have a significant reduction of 39%. Water use, 35% reduction. Embodied energy in materials, 69% reduction. When you think about that, this edge retrofitting equates to about 60.4 tons of carbon emissions saved per year.
Agriculture with minimal environmental impact is a huge area for growth. Togoba Coffee and Wagimek Coffee shared their experiences in growth and the current challenges they face.
We're doing our packets, our roasted beans. We're doing it overseas. I mean, not the roasted beans, but the sachets. The 3-in-1, we are the first local company to do the 3-in-1 sachets. We export our green beans over to Malaysia, do our sachets, and then we bring it back and sell it here.
We're looking at diversification into horticulture. So this is mostly food crops. Everyone in PNG is a farmer. We are all farmers. We all know how to work the land and grow food crops. And this is basically for us to create a market for the local farmers and the local communities, for them to sell their produce and for us to support them, provide inputs, provide seedlings, all these sorts of things.
Meanwhile, parametric insurance, a type of climate and disaster risk finance and insurance solution that is inspired by the need for a rapid financial response to reduce humanitarian and economic losses after a disaster, is being piloted by the United Nations Capital Development Fund.
So how do we scale up some of these efforts? It is the reason we're actually talking today. So how do we support the people outside there in the provinces to cope with these kind of challenges around landslides, drought, earthquakes, sometimes even eruptions from the mountains? We need to find a way of supporting them. And this is exactly what UNCDF is doing in this country.
The transition to a more sustainable green economy opens up exciting opportunities for businesses, whether through innovation, adaptation of new technologies, or being leaders in the shift towards sustainability. It's a win-win situation, as these efforts not only protect the planet, but can drive long-term profitability and competitiveness. Maricela Kelleton, TV1 News.
This is TV1 News. After the break, cancer awareness reaches Taurama and TB increases at an alarming rate.
banking used to mean long trips, endless queues, and piles of paperwork. But now, BSP's One Talk Wallet means no waits, no forms, no fuss. No BSP account needed. Just dial *131# to access your money wherever, whenever. Send, receive funds, withdraw cash at an ATM without a bank card, pay for school fees, and make top-up purchases safely and securely. BSP's One Talk Wallet. Money made easy.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Add your kakaro, get up and big smile on face. Time for kim chicken, a quick kumutu. Sip, sip, the mumu, yes, magic on you.
Spend $10 or more on any ladies' product. Write the details on the back of the receipt for your chance to win. Promotion starts on the 10th of February and ends on the 4th of April. Fresh draw on the 11th of April and the major draw on the 16th of April. See selected stores nationwide. Terms and conditions apply.
Coming soon to Tvwan on the first week of April, the Hiri Moale Festival 2025. From floats to parades, cultural performance, welcoming of the Hiri Lagatoi, and our final crowning. Catch the stories of our Hiri Hanenamo 2025 only on Tvwan.
Welcome back. To combat the rising incidence of cancer in the country, the Papua New Guinea Cancer Foundation hosted an awareness event at Tutu Beach, Taurama. This initiative aims to educate women from the Guinea Guada Center on the prevention, symptoms and treatment of breast, mouth and cervical cancers.
The event underscored the critical importance of early detection and preventative measures in addressing these prevalent cancers. Health experts provided comprehensive information emphasizing that cervical cancer remains the most common cancer affecting women in Papua New Guinea. Despite being one of the most preventable and treatable forms, it continues to claim numerous lives due to late diagnosis and limited awareness. Breast cancer, another leading cause of mortality among women in the country, was also a focal point of the discussions. Attendees were educated on recognizing early signs and the benefits of regular screenings. Additionally, the session addressed mouth cancer, highlighting its association with lifestyle factors such as tobacco and betel nut consumption. The Guinea Guada Center, known for its commitment to empowering individuals through education and skill development, provided an ideal platform for this outreach. The collaboration with PNGCF aligns with the center's mission to equip community members with vital health knowledge, enabling them to make informed decisions about their well-being. This initiative reflects a broader national effort to reduce the burden of cancer through education and advocacy. The PNGCF continues to lead such programs, aiming to reach communities across the nation with life-saving information. Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 News.
Tuberculosis numbers in Madang province are increasing at an alarming rate, with the TB clinic at Modilon General Hospital recording 860 cases in the last 2 months. Clinical HEO of the TB clinic, Veronica Lape, also revealed that there were 1,921 cases recorded last year, the highest ever recorded so far. These alarming figures were disclosed during the celebration of the World TB Day in Madang. Modilon Hospital staff took the day to conduct awareness about this deadly disease at locations deemed to be hotspots or where people congregate more.
The hotspots for TB in Medang are Medang Urban, Karkar and Usinobundi. In Medang Urban alone, the numbers are increasing in all the settlements. Yes, we can end TB in PNG is the national theme for this year's World TB Day. Since TB is airborne and can easily be contracted from anywhere, the awareness is centered around the importance of people knowing their status and getting treatment as soon as possible.
TB spread. So you know na kisim TB time you share him cup na plate na kambang na all geta disla kain something and nogat and run lo wintas all.
In outlining the symptoms of TB, HEO Lape encouraged people to go for a health check if they notice the symptoms. She said this is important so they can immediately be put on medication. On a positive note, the HEO informed the public that TB is curable and that treatment is free.
Fopla sign the TB and fever, cough, lomola tupla week, losing weight na night sweats, and all fopla main sign the TB.
Dr. Tina Yarong, a pediatrician at Modilon, called on adults to safeguard their children from TB. She stated that children cannot contract TB on their own as it is always passed from an adult. She added that many mothers, without realizing, pass it on to their newborn babies. Supporting the awareness was local businessman and community leader Siegfried Sigi Bichel, owner of Sigma Construction. Bichel is a TB patient and is currently in his 10th month of medication after contracting the multi-drug-resistant TB strain and encouraged those registered to stick to their treatment plan.
Please, you must believe the medicine. You must believe the doctor.
TB is contagious and everyone has been encouraged to bring their families to the TB clinic if they notice symptoms of TB. Carol Kiru Jr., TV1 News.
Madang is a province surrounded by scattered islands of the mainland coast, especially within the modern urban district. In other areas of the mainland, there are access points along the coastline, and many commuters resort to boats instead of traveling on road by PMVs. Many of these access points have long deteriorated over the years by wear and tear and effects of climate change. One of these access points is the DCA boat stop, which accommodates more than 1,000 people daily from Ward 8 all the way to Ward 10.
The DCA boat stop hosts the former timber company of Gent Lutheran Shipping, Divine Word University residents, the settlers nearby, and the working class renting within the area. The youths of Ward 8 has taken the initiative to fix their long diminished jetty but fell short of some materials to complete it. Jacob Manu, a community leader of Ward 8, stated that at times when the weather did not allow, they looked for ideal spots to offload passengers. He added that mothers and the elderly sometimes have a hard time getting off the boats onto 3 stamps or routes, prompting them to seek ways in which they could rebuild from what had been left. To their relief, the Madang Town City Authority assisted and dropped off 6 cement bags for the foundation work to start. More materials will be delivered later this week. Mayor Peter Yalsi stated that he was happy to assist the youths who have taken the initiative to improve the rundown jetty, a vital service for the community.
Mayor mas lo youth take initiative, so obviously mayor me support him. Me come give more cement bag na on the mess wire, but me give him support him sila strong initiative lo. Work him sila bridge lo because lo climate change na water rise level and become manta. So all the bridge stuff improve finish. So even on ablo locative, so you need lo work in nupla. Bridge lo community. This bridge seems save him more than 1,000 man meri. Obviously inside lo Ward 8.
Jacob Manu thanked the city authorities' support. Manu stated that even though it may seem like a small gesture, the majority of the people traveling will appreciate it as it gives them the true meaning of service delivery. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
On March 21st, Don Bosco Technical Secondary School celebrated its annual Community Day with a series of events highlighting the institution's commitment to the holistic education of young people and community engagement. The day commenced with a Eucharistic celebration emphasizing the importance of unity and spiritual growth within the school community. Following the Mass, the atmosphere shifted to one of festivity and camaraderie as students, staff and guests participated in various activities of the carnival as it is commonly known. The highlight of the day was the mini Olympic Games, where students competed in events such as running, high jump, long jump and shot put. These activities fostered teamwork, sportsmanship and physical fitness, aligning with the Salesian educational philosophy of nurturing both body and spirit. The Community Day celebration at DBTSS has been a long-standing tradition, reflecting the school's dedication to fostering a family-like environment. The Motu Koita Assembly is improving waste management by handing over 3 dump trucks to council members of Poreporena, Laurabada, Kirakira and Elevala Miringi. These trucks will help keep villages clean and improve service delivery.
The Motu Koita Assembly has taken a significant step in addressing waste management by handing over 3 dump trucks to council members from Poreporena, Laurabada, Kirakira and Elevala Mirigini. Speaking at the handover ceremony, Kirakira Council member Arutu Bake described the occasion as a milestone for Motu Koita.
We just want to say thank you for this milestone. As you've seen, been on Facebook and the media, there's a clash going on. So we thank the chairman's leadership and how the chairman is doing the things for the last 5 years. He's been doing the great, marvelous, doing a great job. The acting chairman, we just want to salute him for what he's doing. And right now, our villages need a clean and green in our village. We just want to say thank you, and we salute our chairman doing the honorable thing for our people. Our people need this service in their village.
Motu Koita Assembly Manager and CEO Marikila emphasized the Assembly's long-term commitment to infrastructure development.
Today, as the MC has alluded, is a significant achievement for the Assembly itself in terms of service delivery. Since 2023, when government and the governor of NCD did amendments on the GST to MKA, we have been recipient of a number of infrastructure development and changes in our communities. That Assembly has approved a budget to deliver number of 11 dump trucks for communities to serve for waste collection and management in our communities.
With support from the NCD Governor's Office, the Motu Koita Assembly continues to improve essential services for its communities, a major step forward to a cleaner future with more trucks expected to arrive soon. Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed lower at $0.2465 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2390, $0.3769 Australian dollars, $0.2140 euro and 35.52 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee, crude oil and copper closed higher, while gold, cocoa, copra and palm oil closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed higher and all ordinaries closed higher as well. You're watching TV1 News. Stay tuned. We'll have news overseas when we come back.
Banking used to mean long trips, endless queues, and piles of paperwork. But now, BSP's one-talk wallet means no waits, no forms, no fuss. No BSP account needed. Just dial *131# to access your money wherever, whenever. Send, receive funds, withdraw cash at an ATM without a bank card, pay for school fees, and make top-up purchases safely and securely. BSP's One-Talk Wallet. Money made easy.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
For Simon, life is simple. Dreams seem distant, yet hope remains. One ticket, one dream. Simon's world changed forever. Yes! From small dreams to big possibilities. The One-Talk Jackpot is here for everyone. Win big every day.
Life is about making memories, sharing new adventures. Go beyond the familiar. Don't let bacteria hold you back from experiencing the world. Protex uses natural antibacterial protection with flaxseed oil and eliminates 99.9% of bacteria. Free yourself. Go beyond with Protex.
Meet the bank for everyone, everywhere. As People's Microbank, we were proud to be a bank for the people. Now as National Banking Corporation, we are bringing modern banking to all in Papua New Guinea. With more branches and our friendly staff ready to assist you in more places, we are making money matters simple and fair. So wherever you are, however you say it, say hello better banking. Learn more at nbcpng.com.pg.
And live while we're young. So call me maybe. Hey, I just met you. This is crazy, but here's my number. Here we go. You can make up your mind. Please don't waste my time. You know you feel baby, you light up my world like nobody else. The way that you lift your head gets me overwhelmed.
Welcome back. Pacific Island nations will get a larger chunk of Australia's foreign aid as spending is refocused after the United States slashed its aid agency. Australia's Foreign Minister Penny Wong asked her department to compile a list of aid programs across the Pacific and Southeast Asia that would be impacted by the Trump administration's cutting of aid. Australia will shift 119 million Australian dollars to prioritise immediate gaps created in essential health services and climate action, including an extra $5 million to maintain HIV programs in Papua New Guinea, Fiji and the Philippines. The Trump administration has slashed tens of millions of dollars from the foreign aid agency USAID, which has impacted the Indo-Pacific. The Northern Territory government is set to reinstate mandatory sentencing for some domestic violence offences after the Labour government repealed them in 2022. The reforms were welcomed by some, but not all.
With domestic violence-related assaults sky high, the government is set to reinstate mandatory sentencing for some DV offences.
We want to ensure that the victim's rights is put above the rights of offenders.
Mandatory sentencing will apply for offenders who have breached a domestic violence order multiple times or who have harmed victims while on a DVO, but won't extend to all domestic violence offences.
If you breach a domestic violence order, you'll receive a term of imprisonment. And what that exactly looks like will be at the discretion of the judges.
Mandatory sentencing for DVO breaches was introduced by Labour in 2007, but repealed by the same party in 2022.
We had 4 years ago an all-encompassing review of the NT Law Reform Commission with respect to mandatory sentencing, which found that mandatory sentencing wasn't serving its purpose. We were seeing increased numbers of persons incarcerated and lack of rehabilitation.
What it might do is it might make victims reticent to make reports to the police. They might want police involvement for certain situations, but they might not want to report in circumstances where their partner might go away for a couple of years.
Mandatory sentencing isn't the only thing that's changing. The government also wants offenders to pay more for victim survivor services by around 40%. The bill will also make sure that survivors are notified of offenders' movements, such as if an electronic monitoring device is removed.
So currently supports and information available to victim survivors from our perspective is lacking. And so this is one of the elements of this reform that we welcome.
The government will table the legislation in Parliament tomorrow.
The federal courts rejected a union bid to resume industrial action on Sydney's rail network. The Premier welcomed the news, but Chris Mills admits his government needs to lift its game on transport as it marks 2 years in office.
It was a summer of frustration for commuters as a fast-moving city was brought to a crawl. Today's court ruling against the Electrical Trades Union will protect the pause on industrial action, but the Premier concedes the network needs more than that to get back on track.
Nowhere near up to scratch when it comes to on-time running for the transport system.
Sydney Trains' target is for 92% of services to arrive within 5 minutes of their scheduled time, but that goal hasn't been met since January 2024.
Some of that's been industrial, but I've got to admit some of it's been basic maintenance and signalling that we haven't gotten right.
With his government at the halfway point, the Premier's also under pressure on housing supply. The state's still not on track to meet the targets it signed up to. Aside from question time, the opposition was conspicuously quiet. On a day when it hoped to be applying the blowtorch to the government, someone on the inside was lighting fires. A screenshot was leaked of the Shadow Roads Minister Natalie Ward on a video conference with coalition colleagues while driving a car.
It's a matter for the person that took the screenshot of me without my consent. What I would say is that I made a poor error of judgment.
What I would say about the coalition is just when you think they're down and out, they do pull themselves together. Look, I've been in opposition. It's tough. It is a tough job.
One he won't have to contemplate for another 2 years. Nick Dole, ABC News, Sydney.
A bill to amend the country's environment laws to protect salmon farming on Tasmania's west coast will be tabled in federal parliament tomorrow. The move has angered environmentalists who warn it could threaten the survival of the Mogan stake and have broader consequences.
The fury of environmentalists directed at the federal government. Some of the country's biggest green groups switching target from Peter Dutton to the Prime Minister.
This week in Parliament, the Prime Minister is proposing to send a species extinct. We have to stop that.
The skate is at the same levels that it was back a decade ago.
Legislation to amend Australia's environment laws will be introduced to Parliament tomorrow. It means that if a project didn't require a full federal environmental assessment to begin with, because it has state or territory oversight and has been ongoing for at least 5 years, the Environment Minister won't be able to reconsider its approval. The change is intended to quash the current challenge to salmon farming in Tasmania's Macquarie Harbour, brought on by environment groups worried about the endangered Maugean skate.
I can guarantee the mining companies would never get out of it, would never get away with an exemption of what salmon's asking for tomorrow.
The fact that Tasmania's salmon corporations need a carve-out from federal environment laws to even be able to continue to operate sends a very clear message.
But with the coalition likely to support the amendment, their protests may be futile.
I want to leave Parliament this week with the bill having passed because it's what Tasmanian salmon workers need.
We support jobs, but we also support sustainability.
Labor swept into power with a plan to strengthen the nation's environment laws. 3 years later, Green groups say it's ending its first term, weakening them. And while salmon farming inspired this amendment, they fear the change will have broader implications.
And that ends the news segment. Next in sports, Amateur Golf Championship and NCD Schools Embrace Challenge.
We are the people, connected to our land and sea. Timeless and enduring, it has served past generations, sustains us today, and will support those of tomorrow. A testament to human ingenuity. It can be shaped into limitless forms. It reflects our humanity, strong yet vulnerable. It teaches us to endure challenges, to fulfill our purpose. Past technologies inspire us to look inward for creativity and sustainable solutions for the future. It brings families together, fostering moments of connection over shared meals. Known and cherished worldwide, the clay pot is a universal symbol of life, resilience, and connection.
You can run from a bully for so long, but after a while, you're gonna have to stand up to him.
What did the president know, and when did he know it?
I am about to start the biggest war of the century.
You told me that you wanted to make a difference in this world.
What would you have me do?
I want you to fight!
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall!
Reagan premieres Thursday, April 24th, 10 p.m. on HBO Signature.
It was 24 hours before a Japanese patrol arrived at the crash site. Can it be possible that the locals have got there first before the Japanese? And is it possible the sword can still be on the island?
Okay, tinggal siya kung wajin something. Wala akong giving you story. Brandy man yung kung fukul kamar siya, di ba? You know the French?
Thanks for staying with us. In sports, PNG Amateur Golf Championship 2025 is scheduled to be played in Lae, Morbe Province during the Easter weekend. With the championship set for next month, Southern Cross Assurance Limited has announced itself a major sponsor to the event with a 20,000 kina track presentation today at the Port Moresby Royal Golf Club. Following the successful Amateur Golf Championship in Mount Hagen, Western Highlands Province last year, the PNG Professional Golf Association set its sight for the big one in Lae, Morbe Province on the Easter weekend. The Amateur Championship is expected to host games in 8 different divisions, including juniors. It will be an event where golf enthusiasts around the country will be showcasing their skills and talents at the national event. Vice President of PNG Professional Golf Association, Rosalind Taufa, said this will be a big event for PNG golfers. She said this will also be an avenue where they will be identifying and picking golfers to represent PNG at the national level.
The Papua New Guinea Open Amateur Championship is a sanctioned Papua New Guinea Golf Association event for national athletes' order of merit, and all ranked first champion finishers out of the top 8 of all categories, amateur male, female and junior male, female, are given an opportunity for selection, for national selection at all international rep duty and within the country itself.
She thanked the Southern Cross Assurance Limited for pledging its support for the sport. She said the sponsorship will help them promote golf in the country. Chairman of Southern Cross Assurance Limited, Roxanne Undi, when presenting dummy check to PNG Golf Association representatives, applauded leadership in the sports. He said golf has been stagnant in the country in recent years, but he's hopeful under this leadership, sport has seen some progress. Undi added that not everybody likes rugby league. PNG has many sports and golf is amongst the sports many want to play. Hence, he encouraged sport to do more in the junior golf programs.
A lot of us tend to go and support rugby league and other big games, but I believe individual games are better if we competing at the international level. We can, develop juniors all the way up, and with what the PNG Golf Association is doing now under your leadership, President, I can see that we can grow this game at the junior level. And with golf, it's got to start at the junior level. If you get it right down there, you could be playing in the, biggest tournaments around the world.
President of PNG Professional Golf Association, Ian Hodges, and Vice President Taufa appreciated this sponsorship and looks forward to the championship. With interest shown heading into the event, this championship is expected to have a big participation. After suffering the first loss of the 2025 QRL Host Plus Cup season against the Sunshine Coast Falcons, the PNG Hunters coach Paul Aiton reflected on the team's performance, attributing the defeat to inexperience in the forward pack and the lack of cohesion and direction.
Following a grueling 12-week pre-season training period, the Hunters faced additional challenges brought on by Tropical Cyclone Alfred, delaying the start of the season. Aiton acknowledged that these factors may have impacted the team's preparedness and focus. However, Aiton emphasized their commitment ahead of the upcoming clash against the Brisbane Tigers on Sunday at the Santos National Football Stadium.
Falcons were good, but we just we weren't up to our standard. So we've discussed that a lot this week. So we didn't show up to play, unfortunately. But we've had we didn't have the time off over the break, over the bye. So we've trained really hard and leading into this week. The boys have trained really well. They put in a lot of effort. We've got a lot of new boys in the middle. They've been working really hard, getting ready for Tigers.
Aiton noted improvements in the team's attitude and stamina leading into this weekend's match, indicating that the players had trained diligently despite being a relatively inexperienced squad. The arrival of new props Zebedee Kip and Stephen Bruno has provided size and height, but the duo struggled against the more seasoned Falcons pack.
Yeah, well, it's their first game, so you can see that, and you can't just get dropped in there and expect to perform like you've played 50 games. And you can tell the boys who played over 50 games because your Illas, your Jordan, Pats. He's only done 35, I think, for Jordan. So. We don't have much experience there, but the effort is always there. So we've played around a little bit with our starting pack this week. So it'll start with Jordan, Illa and Zebedee, and then we'll have Stephen coming off the bench. So a little bit of a change around.
To improve against the Tigers, Aiton emphasized that the team must address various aspects that let them down in the previous match. With the departure of Judah Rimbu, the Hunters have been experimenting with Finley Glare in the number 9 position, which is new for him but essential for his growth. Aiton also mentioned the addition of Linkil Kiap, who will make his debut off the bench as a versatile player in the spine.
First one is the mindset. Coming prepared for training. You can't just roll out of bed and go and play. It doesn't work like that. It's very different. So definitely the mindset, we've addressed that, and just our defensive mindset as well. We've worked so much on it, so I know they can do it. It's just what's between the ears now, so it's whether they want to show up and do it. And I believe from our discussions the last couple of weeks, I think they'll be ready to go this week.
One player who has made significant progress is Garo Voro, who has been growing in confidence. He will remain in the halves alongside Jamie Mavoko for the upcoming match, underlining the team's commitment to developing their younger talents while striving for improvement as they shift focus to the next challenge against the Brisbane Tigers. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
NCD Schools Rugby League has launched its 2025 competition today in the presence of students and teachers at City Hall. The school's Rugby League competition commences its pre-season 9 games in Gerau this weekend. The NCD Schools Rugby League competition will be hosting students from 3 districts of NCD, the Moresby South, Moresby Northeast and Moresby West at Gerau this weekend for the pre-season 9s as a preparation for the junior competition. President of the NCD Schools Rugby League, Arnold Genders, said the competition last year was a success. He is expecting this year's challenge to be of the same magnitude as in 2024. Genders said a friendly match between Trinity Bay High School last year in Australia was amongst a success story of the program.
We've had our season last year, which was a successful one. We managed to get our under-17 boys to play Trinity Bay in Cairns, which was a good experience for the kids, as well as for NCD Schools Rugby League to expose the talents that we have in our pools.
Genders said that with interest shown by schools in the NCD to have their teams registered for the competition, they are serious about their player registration and eligibility criteria. He said for a player to participate, he or she must meet certain requirements in order to balance sports and education.
Birth certificates is compulsory. Birth certificates and academic transcripts are compulsory for individual kids. Why I'm emphasizing on academic transcripts is we have a benchmark set for all participating students, academic benchmark which is 60%. Any child who scores below 60% will be discouraged from playing rugby league, but get back to the classroom to improve and then they can come back to the field. This is one of our major policies.
Speaking about the safety of students on the field, Genders said every player must register fully to participate in the competition, as this covers insurance as well. He thanked the PNG RFL for making insurance available for the competition.
Since PNG RFL has secured a insurance firm or got an insurance policy for us, we are urging the kids to pay up all the registration so that when you take the field, you will be covered. Kids without registrations will not take the field.
NCD Schools Rugby League competition will also have girls competition for the second year. Genders thanked the NCDC, PNG RFL and schools for supporting the program and looks forward to the competition. The South Sydney Raptors are back at Accor Stadium in 2025, where they will take on the Penrith Panthers on Thursday night in what is sure to be a bumper contest. After suffering their first defeat of the season at the hands of the Sharks last weekend, the Cardinal and Might will be confident they can return to their winning ways.
Both sides are eager to return to form after their last start losses, with South Sydney falling to Cronulla in round 3, when Bennett's man was slow out of the gates before storming home late, and they will be looking to roll that momentum forward. The loss put an end to the Rabbitohs' undefeated start to the season, but they will have a pep in their step in their first game at Ardor Stadium for the year. Penrith have won 7 of their last 8 against South Sydney, a stretch that includes their dramatic 14-12 victory in the 2021 Grand Final. The Panthers will be undermanned on Thursday night, with Nathan Cleary set to miss the clash under the concussion protocols, while fullback Dylan Edwards remains sidelined with a groin injury. having been used primarily as a utility of the band so far in 2025, Jaden Sullivan finally got the opportunity to play in his preferred position of halfback against the Sharks after a halftime reshuffle from coach Wayne Bennett. Davy Mwale missed any concerns that players will be struggling with the short turnaround from last Saturday against the Sharks to this Thursday against the Panthers. Due to the strong emphasis that the entire squad places on recovery, Mwale insists that everyone in the team will be ready to rip in on Thursday night. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
That's it for sports. Now the weather forecast. In regional focused, southern Port Moresby becoming cloudy with evening potential heavy showers, rain and thunderstorms. Momase lay cloudy periods with potential moderate showers, rain and possible thunderstorm. Wewak cloudy with evening heavy showers, rain and possible thunderstorm. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau and Kavieng cloudy with evening moderate showers, rains and possible thunderstorms. Buka mostly fine. Highlands region, Madi, Tari and Wabeg becoming cloudy with evening heavy showers, rain and thunderstorms. Ocean forecast, Coral Sea, sea smooth to slight with west to northwest winds of 5 to 15 knots. Solomon and Bismarck seas, sea smooth to slight with north to northeast winds of 5 to 15 knots. Pacific Ocean, sea slight to moderate with easterly winds of 10 to 20 knots. And coastal waters forecast. Waters of Food Point to Samare Island to Cape Vogel and all Milne Bay Islands, seas 0.5 to 2 meters. Waters of Finsafen through Vitia Strait to Siasi, Long Island to Madang, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. And that ends the news tonight. Pleasant viewing. Good night.